Hey, you guys. I just learned something new and I thought it could be really helpful for so many of us now that we're using Google Classroom and maybe trying to, figure out how to do different things, such as how to allow your kids to write on a PDF, whether it's a file that you had saved on your computer, that you found and downloaded, or maybe something, from a workbook or something like that that you've scanned and, want them to be able to write on. It, can sometimes create a little bit of a problem inside Google Classroom, because if you're trying to recreate it as a Google Doc, we all know from experience that, first of all, who has this kind of time, and second of all, once the kids get their hands on it, it gets too easily manipulated, and then things get lost or deleted. So what I did was I just Googled around and I looked for a PDF of some kind of a graphic organizer, to kind of emulate maybe something that you guys might want, to save and use yourselves. So this one just happens to be a pretty generic compare and contrast graphic organizer, and a couple of steps. So I'm going to go through it, on this video so you can see it done live, and then of course if you have questions about it, just shoot me an email and I'm happy to, maybe explain it, in a bulleted list or something, if that helps you. So if you find a PDF that you like, when I first opened this, the view was, a little bit more zoomed in so I can see it. What you'll have to do is zoom out so that the entire thing that you're trying to save as an image is, available on the screen in one, you know, size like this, where we can see the whole doc. Um, Depending on what kind of device you're working on, you can either screenshot it and then crop it if you're using, a tablet of some kind, or if you're on a PC, there's that snipping tool. I happen to be on a Mac, so I'm going to use, my own snipping tool. I've got the doc there ready to go, and I'm going to create, this little, looks like a camera view or something. And I'm going to put it right in the corner here and just draw a box around precisely what I want to be saved. And it made a little camera sound, and there it is. So for me, that document gets saved to my desktop, and I'm going to be able to grab it and use it as the background of a page on Google Slides. So that's what I want to show you next. So the next thing that you have to do, that image is saved somewhere. I believe if you're using a PC, the snipping tool asks you to, name the file and put it in a certain place. For mine, it's just sort of an automatic screenshot save. So however your, device lets you do it. What I'm going to do is open up Google Slides and go to a blank presentation. And we just have to change the look of it to look more like a doc. The reason we're using slides is so that instead of inserting that screenshot as an image, we're going to insert it as the background of the document so that the kids can't manipulate it, resize or delete or do anything like that. So here's my blank doc. I'm going to get rid of the text boxes on there. And I'm going to title it Compare, Contrast, Riser. And I am going to change the look of this. We don't want it to look like that normal PowerPoint size slideshow screen. So the way to do that is File and Page Setup. And we all know that copy paper is a custom, we're going to make it a custom size. We all know what that size is, 8.5 by 11 inches, and apply. So now it looks more like an actual, doc that we could, if we were at work, we'd be photocopying this. So a couple places to add the background. Most of us will probably see the shortcut button right here. Otherwise, it's going to be, I believe, under format. No? Oh my gosh, where is it? I don't know. Maybe because it's here, it's here. Oh, or you could right click it. That's what it was. So you can right click on the doc or hit background. And we want to, obviously you could change the color or you can choose an image. That's what we did. We made that screenshot. So I'm just going to go ahead and find it here. Like I said, for me, it shows up on the desktop automatically. And of course, we might need to zoom this in, but I kind of know what's there. And I think that tiny little square looks like that graphic organizer screenshot. So I'm going to trust it and double click it, give it a second, and hit done. And there it is. So now that is the background to our page. You can see if I'm, clicking here, I can't pick it up, I can't move it, I can't do anything. So your kids won't be able to manipulate this. Then the next thing to do is to add some text boxes where you want them to type, or maybe, put some instructions or whatever it is that you need to do. And that is simply insert text box. And we'll just make a little box here. And, maybe you want to type some instruction in it. Let's zoom this in a little bit so we can see what the heck we're doing. We'll do maybe 50%. All right, that's a little better. Okay, so I might say, type your first topic here. And then we can copy and paste this text box and put it in the second box. We'll do Control C and click away, Control V. And I'm just going to change that from first to second. And then here, we'll make different text boxes to say, type one thing that's different. Give me, details about what's different, type here and share one thing that is different about these two topics. And that is going to show up in the other different box. So we'll copy and paste that. And then we will do something that is similar, copy and paste. Share one thing that is about these two topics. Okay, and the same thing is here. So once you have all of your text boxes where you want them, the reason why I'm typing something rather than just drawing a text box is, as you can see, once you click away from it, the box is not there. So if I just put a plain text box here in this other box where it says conclusion, right now it looks like, oh, it's so obvious that's where you would type, but the kids might not know unless they're familiar with using this process. Once you click away from it, you can't tell that there's a box there unless you click in that area. So that's why I'm typing, you might even type something here like delete my words and type your words here or something like that. That way they can see, oh, there's words there, that's where I should be clicking, and then they know to highlight and type. So I now have a document that I can share inside Google Classroom. And the only thing to remember is to choose that option that says make a copy for every student. So if I go into my Google Classroom and choose classwork and create a new assignment, we'll call this one compare contrast. And I might type some directions here of what I want them to do. And when I add this document from my Google Drive, it should show up near the top because it's a recent document. Compare contrast graphic organizer. It's got the little yellow icon for Google Slides, so I know I'm in the right place. I'm going to double click that. And then we just simply have to remember to change this to make a copy for each student. And now when you, and fill out, how many points and the due date and all of that, once you assign it, now the kid is going to open up what looks like a worksheet, and they're going to be able to type in it and submit it back to you. So I thought that was a unique way. Of course, there are multiple ways to, have a kid write on a PDF. There are some extensions that you can add from Google Chrome. There's one called Doc Hub. You might have figured out another way, to accomplish this task. But if you were struggling and were hoping that, there was a way to use a PDF and allow your kids to write directly on it, I thought that setting it as the background and adding a few simple text boxes was a pretty quick and easy way to do that. So hopefully that helps. And again, if you have any questions, you know where to find me.